Hello and welcome everyone. This is going to be an OXY trade breakdown. It's going to be one of those 5-minute or less sessions. So we're going to go ahead and break down the tape from the morning, and we're going to talk about some of the discussion we had in our chat room in terms of breaking the stock down. So initially this morning, ended up seeing this burst right before the open, great selling burst 61.80, and then we ended up pushing up above to 62.50. Didn't really get any controlling prints at 62 or anything at 62.50 because we based the trade off controlling prints, which are at levels, so zeros. So something like 62.50 or 62. But we didn't get any of that on the initial move up, ends up triggering down back to 61 and bounces off 61. Still real lack of controlling prints in this stock. That's something that we noted is it's not printing at the levels as much. So the market makers aren't present at those levels. And that's where we base all our trade off of. And then so on that bounce off of 61, we didn't really have too many ask prints at 61.50, 62, 62.50. It was real weak on the whole way up, maybe one or two prints at the levels. And then we come up to 63 and we get this huge ask print above print personality, indicating that this market maker's intentions are to build not, well, eventually they need to make money on these positions, but the initial intentions are for this to build. This was probably 5 times over print personality. So our expectation is going to be our number one short trade based upon these 63 ask. Per calculations, we're trading in about 50-cent increments. Going to be looking for about 2 increment pullback, which is 62. So currently I'm still in this trade short on another computer. So price target is 62 based upon just these prints here alone. And then we ended up just consolidating around the 63 for a while, and there wasn't anything that stood out in terms of accumulation to show that this was going to be an exception type of stock, meaning that this very well could have not pulled back from 60 if the market makers, or 63, if the market makers showed the intentions above and below 63 on the shorter term accumulation side of things. If they showed this has that real ability to push to 65, if they were adamant about pushing to 65, they would have accumulated as much as they could around the 63, not just at the level, but those off levels, so anything above or below 63, and we just didn't see that. It was really lackluster. The volume was lackluster around that level. And then we ended up calling out in the chat that, and I had a conversation with Davis, another student, is you really shouldn't be touching this when it's in the 63 area, because we know the market maker's sitting at 63. That's his zone. That's where he has his largest position. So there's some games to be expected there, and trying to take an entry there short for a number one short trade is going to be difficult. You're going to get shaken out. So ideal case scenario is it breaks out of this consolidation region from around the 62, ideally to new highs, and then you trigger down for the building period. And that's exactly what we ended up getting, was triggering out of that consolidation to new highs. And what that allows for is retail to be captured. For all those chart traders, they're looking at this as a breakout potential to 65. They see good volume, they're in it. But we, in reality, know the market maker has intentions to build. So this was just a market maker tactic to get retail in, to furthermore drop it, to build on that position. So it gathers a lot of interest long, and then they bring it back short, and they just take all the shares. So we end up getting the 63.50, which aligned with another pullback. So the 63 said pullback, how much ask there was. 63.50 said pullback, how much ask there was. So break out to new highs, take that short. Price target is still 62. That's our real price target. 62.50 at where we're at is real conservative price target. We have to expect gains at the 62 level on our pullback, because we know 62.50 is a psychological level, and with those psychological level comes a lot of gains. There's a lot more volume to be had there at those levels, and the market makers can utilize. But essentially, that's the trade breakdown right there. I hope you all enjoy and have a wonderful day or night, or wherever you're watching from.